Hey there, how there, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to yet another Time Sense Tale 20th anniversary video. And this will be posted on October the 12th. So, this is a big one. It is the 15 characters with the 15 topic sentences. So I decided to do this as a cool series and make it the 15 characters with 15 topic sentences, because I always wanted to do a topic sentence on each character, on some characters, and explain myself about topic sentences. I've done topic sentences on Emma, basically saying that, Emma is a good friend. She had good execution, but she had good intentions, but bad execution. That's practically her relationship with Manny in a nutshell. So anyway, I'll go through 15 characters, and I'm going to go through 15 things. So here we go. I'll try my best to go from lower characters to higher characters. Okay, so Craig. my topic sentence on Craig was, finding Jimmy's body led to his manic episodes, and sadly, he chose to go to school that day instead of staying home sick. So, in the subplot of Time Sense Tale, which will always be a bad subplot in a episode like Time Sense Tale, Craig, who's staying with Joey because, Craig's father died. Joey's losing money. He has to sell his house and all that. He's having troubles with the house. Craig gets sick, and we don't know why, but he talks to Sydney, Joey's ex, who's a real estate agent, about trying to save the house and all that, and Joey goes bonkers. And then Craig notices Joey's going to stay home that day. So he's like, I'd rather be at school sick than be with you at home. And then Joey then says, I hope I don't find Tessa Campanelli nearby. So, yeah, finding Jimmy's body led to his manic episodes. It wasn't, completely all due to his bipolar thing. He probably had, things. Season 2, when he played chicken with a train. He had something wrong with him. I mean, yeah, his abuser was his dad, but yeah. So Craig, unfortunately, decided to go to school sick. Craig probably thought that he needed to escape Joey and all that. Joey admits that Craig was right about things, but Craig just had to see Jimmy's prone body. And, that led to problems. And, Craig never really said much about that. He did tell Sean in a deleted scene that Jimmy, my guy, Jimmy, was shot and all that. I saw the body. And Sean says, our guy died. Sorry, but this is competition. But yeah, that being Rick. Let's go with Marco. My topic sentence about Marco. Why was he not involved in this storyline more, especially as student body president? It ticks me off. It's Marco's the student council president, and what power does he have with Radic? Radic is a prick. We all know that. We all see that. But the simple fact is that Marco should have been more involved in this storyline. I mean, as a student council president, he needed to help the students out and calm them down. All Radic did was piss off Marco by saying that Terry is at a private school. I can't talk about her affairs, and because he doesn't have a criminal record, I can't prevent him from coming to Degrassi. I get it. I know it. We all know it. But I mean, Marco should have pushed more, because the students were taking things seriously with the Orange Ribbon campaign and the bullying. It's what? What power did Marco have? Marco just seemed like a figurehead and all that Raj could use for his own amusement. But I think Marco probably felt like he should have felt better. I should have did the fingers. Okay, let's go with the staff. Staff's topic sentence is this. Where was the protection of Rick by any staff member not named Snake? Reason being, I say that specifically, is that Snake, took accountability. Allegedly, he wanted to talk to Radic about Rick's problems and all that, but Radic blew him off. Of course, it's not Snake's fault, it's Radic's fault. And Snake took accountability, whereas Radic probably didn't. Yeah, where was the protection of Rick by any staff member? Well, actually, I should technically say Miss Kwan actually did protect him after Spinner threw something at Rick during English class and sent him to the principal's office. But that was it. The staff were just like, what's going on? Did the staff even talk about things? I don't know. I just don't get it. Okay, let's see. Okay, the next topic sentence is about Paige. Right? Let's see here. I'm trying to remember. 1, 2, 3. No, am I on number 4? Okay, so I talked about Craig's. I talked about Marco. I talked about the staff. Okay, number 4 is Paige. She was a tormentor at the start, left the bully, and saved herself from Rick's gun. She did an underrated thing. Reason why I'm saying that is because, like, yeah, Paige wanted Rick out of the school, and she had good reason to. She was there when Terry got hurt in season 3. She blamed herself and Spinner for not doing enough. And then, she was there to torment Rick at the start and basically throw Emma away after Emma protects her. But the fact of the matter is that, she really, she left the bully. Like, Paige did sass Rick, but she wasn't really part of trying to destroy Rick. I think Paige, in a sense, kind of knew that she was going to Rick. Excuse me. The values of live TV wasn't going anywhere. So Paige basically did all stuff. And, Rick wanted to shoot Paige because, Paige, he was upset that Paige put Terry under her shadow. And I understand that. Rick was right about that. But that was the only thing Rick was right about. So Paige practically decided to do all that. So that's what he did. That's what she did. And, she didn't realize that Rick had a gun. She obviously knew about it later. But the fact is that, Paige did a proper thing. And did everything right. Alright, so got that going. The staff. And all that. Let's go with Toby. Topic sentence 5. He was abandoned by JT, wanted to have a friend, and felt like his friend betrayed him, as in Rick. I know the topic sentence doesn't seem to fit the crime and all that. That I may have messed it up. But the fact of the matter is that, Toby was friendless. JT left him for Danny, a.k.a. Liberty's brother. Probably as a way to get to Liberty, who knows. And the fact of the matter is that Toby was easily picked on by Rick. He was paired up with Rick during an assignment by Snake, and they were both on the Quiz Bowl team. So it made perfect sense that Toby and Rick would be friends, even though that Rick was an abuser. And I think Toby obviously knew about Rick. But Toby was such a state that he wanted a friend, and JT basically abandoned him. Manny chewed JT out in Back in Black in the subplot after Toby gets harassed by JT and Danny. So basically, she tells JT, saying that if it wasn't for you going after Webster, a.k.a. Danny, then Toby would never have come close to Rick. Easily be protected by Rick. So JT realizes that and makes Toby his friend, but, doesn't really help Toby out as a friend. Number 6 is about Sean. Sean was heroic no matter what you think. And I feel that he had the right to go home and deal with his PTSD. So, yeah, Sean low-key actually caused friction with helping Jay, Spinner, and Alex with the paint and feathers. Because when Jay is upset over his car being spray painted, as well as Spinner's, basically they wanted to show Radic the evidence. Sean tells them not to do it because practically then Jay would have to incriminate himself. And he's like, yeah, we can't do that. So unfortunately for everyone, he just basically decided to get Rick Stander up. Like Sean didn't think that Jay, Spinner, and Alex were going to try something stupid like the painted feathers. It was out of his like. He was heroic. He did a good thing and tried to calm Rick down and make sure Rick knew the gravity of the situation and try to stop him from the gun and all that. We'll figure everything out. That's what police officers were supposed to do. Unfortunately, Rick doesn't believe Sean, and Sean wrestles Rick with a gun, shoots him in the stomach, kills him, and practically Sean's a hero. He had the right to deal with his PTSD because he feels like he killed Rick. But Sean would not get in trouble because Rick was the bad guy the whole time, and Sean definitely would have been told off by the cops that weekend. He had the right idea. Okay, let's talk about the student body, number 7. Okay, number 7 is they had justice for Terry over the cause of the orange ribbons, but they took justice in their own hands because Radic didn't help the situation. That's how I feel about the student body. That's how I feel about the student body. And all that. So, yeah. I think I did 16 or something because I have 9 extras. But yeah, like the student body practically did what they did, and that was just plain stupid. But I understand the student body. I applaud them because, you know, they used the Orange Ribbon campaign to get rid of Rick, but they took it the way that Emma was not supposed to have it taken, and that's to bully people. Like, I understand the student body, like, and the fact that, you know, they wanted Rick out because of what he did to Terry. And they felt helpless because Radic refused to do a damn thing about the situation. So, what can you do? Like, the student body had the right heart, but the fact of the matter is, it made themselves look guilty, and basically the zero tolerance thing was to punish the student body. Let's go to Jimmy for number 8. Number 8. Okay, we'll do the fingers. Number 8 for Jimmy is, and I just deleted it. Why did I do that? Jimmy, wrong place, wrong time, and felt guilt over bullying Rick. I believe it. Everyone believes it. We all believe it. So, another one of those is the fact that, you know, Jimmy was in the wrong place, wrong time. I mean, Jimmy was a tormentor of Rick. He's the guy who helped Spinner put Rick in the dumpster to start time standstill in the first place. And he was not too pleased with Rick being with Rick while he was put on the Quiz Bowl team to come in for the ailing Heather Sinclair. But the fact of the matter is that Jimmy was protected. Jimmy switched sides because of how Toby was treated, and Rick convinces Toby and all that. Jimmy and all that. Jimmy was basically not realizing that Spinner and Jace set up Jimmy to be hurt. They wanted Jimmy to be hurt, not by gunshot, but by any means necessary. And I think they were both pissed off that Jimmy would switch sides. Fight me on it. So the thing that gets me is, you know, Jimmy was just in the wrong place, wrong time. He did try to calm Rick down and all that, and got shot. Now, let's not forget, Rick did have a clear has some kind of conscious move because Rick stood with a gun and he turned his head away. If Rick really wanted to shoot Jimmy, he would have shot Jimmy right there and then in the head. Game, set, match. But yet, and Jimmy thought that, you know, he was punished for hurting Rick. In the end, he was justified. Okay, let's go to, I'm going to say Terry. Let's go, number 9 is Terry. My girl, Terry, from Waterloo, Oxford. Well, Christina Schmidt from Waterloo, Oxford, the same high school I graduated from. Where was she in the storyline, especially season 4? What were her reactions? We just saw her be blackholed. That is the worst possible thing CTV could fucking have done. I'm sorry, but that's how I do it. The simple fact is that Terry was in that coma. We saw her for a few episodes after she put in the coma and put in the hospital. But after that, nothing. No mention, no nothing. Even when you don't care about the deleted scenes, is that where's Terry in this situation? Terry just gets mentioned, but she's not seen, or we don't know about Terry's reactions about the Rick situation. I think they kept it from Terry because they're like, we're doing this for Terry, and we don't want Terry to know because Terry will probably want to stop it, and we're going to be so gung-ho to destroy Rick. I think that's what it was. I think they just kept things from Terry. Terry would have known, and I don't know what Terry's reactions would have been like after she sees the 6 o'clock news and all that. I just wish we knew what Terry was thinking about. Let's go to Rick's parents for the next topic sentence. And that topic sentence is blissfully ignorant and didn't do enough to help Rick out, although Rick didn't want to be found out. So what about Rick's parents? Like, honestly, that is just one of the worst things possible and all that. And the simple fact is that Rick's parents were just blissfully ignorant, especially the mother. The father was a traveling salesman, probably was abusive towards both Rick and his mom. That's what we probably think. But the fact of the matter is Rick's mom was blissfully ignorant and basically fell for Rick's crocodile tears. Simple fact. And all that. But all I gotta say is that, they were stupid in the situation. Rick could have helped himself out by telling his parents everything, and they probably would have gotten on Radic's case. But the fact of the matter is that they were ignorant, and also the fact of the gun easily being in Rick's possession. Like, they got to be blamed for it. Let's be ignorant. I can't stand it. Okay, let's go with Emma for the next topic sentence. Emma's topic sentence is this. Wanted to gain new friends after being rightfully shunned, but was turned right into Rick's path. Or another topic sentence basically is Emma had the right idea for the Orange Ribbon campaign, but the wrong execution. Although it wasn't her fault. I think that's probably much a topic sentence for Emma. But the fact of the matter is that, Emma didn't foresee the school using her Orange Ribbon campaign to destroy Rick. Like, that's understandable. I get it. You get it. They all get it. But the fact of the matter is that, Emma used the Orange Ribbon campaign to gain a friend group because Manny and Liberty left her high and dry after what she did to try to break up Liberty and Chris. And Emma deserved it. I'm not defending Emma at all. But the fact is that, after the Orange Ribbon campaign and trying to defend her campaign and be the cause girl that she was, who she really was, it pissed off Paige, and they basically left Emma high and dry, and I bet you dollars to donuts Paige started some kind of campaign to get Emma shunned by everybody. And that's why she only found solace with the quiz team of Rick, Toby, and Jimmy. Well, Heather, then Jimmy. But the fact of the matter is that, a lot of people kind of blame Emma for the Orange Ribbon campaign, but the students took her campaign too far. And Emma was going to accept that check, I think, the $500, because it was to help the cause. Let's talk about Alex's topic sentence. Alex's topic sentence number 12 is, I understood about her ambitions to do with the Orange Ribbon campaign, but pictured every guy who abused her mom as Rick. It's simple as that. Alex says all this stuff to Emma about being victimized by domestic violence, especially her mother. Her boyfriends were bad to her, and they have to live in shelters. Alex is sympathetic. We can sympathize with Alex. And yes, she basically pictured every guy who wronged her mother as Rick. Basically, Rick replaces the image of every guy who wronged her mom. And she wanted to destroy Rick as an embodiment to all the men who fucked her mother. Fair enough. Like, the trouble is Alex's bullying went a little too far. If Alex wasn't such a bully, we would sympathize with her. And yes, she got away with everything. But that was because Spitter and Jay didn't want to blame her for everything. Although I wish Alex had come clean and all that. Okay, next topic sentence is Spitter. Let's go with Spitter for number 13. Spitter's sentence was, he was a bigger friend to Jay than Jimmy and should never have listened to Jay at any time. I know it's quite simple, but Spitter, it looked like Spitter when he was in the bully group in season 4 was closer to Jay than Jimmy. Like, you know, they were close together and all that. And Spinner and Jimmy's relationship was fractured at the time. But the fact of the matter is that Spinner listened to Jay. Spinner was stupidly deciding to brag to Jimmy about everything. And then Jay felt like he needed to help Spinner out when Spinner says Radic knows. Because he's thinking that Jimmy's going to narc on him. If you don't look at the deleted scene, that's what it is. But there's a deleted scene in which Spinner clucks at Rick, and Radic basically wants to talk to him. But the fact of the matter is that Spinner let Jay listen to him. And Spinner should never have been a friend to Jay. Yes, they wanted to bully Rick. But the fact is that Spinner definitely deserved better. But yeah, Spinner just showed his true colors. He was closer to Jay than to Jimmy. He did want to confess his role in everything after finding out Jimmy was shot. But Jay says, either outcome, he won't be your best friend, either in death or in real life. And Jay was right. Like, Jay had a point. But yeah, Spinner basically was with Jay. I think in my facts that lots of people were probably hoping that Spinner would break off from Jay. And Spinner did on the 1-year anniversary of Rick being shot. Okay, so the next topic sentence and the number 3, well, I'm going to rank this. The third biggest topic sentence goes to Jay. He was only there to cause trouble. He had no sympathy to anybody, especially Spinner and Alex. Like, you could figure out that Paige, Spinner, and a lot of them, especially Hazel, were bullying Rick. And they had reason to, of what Rick did to Terry. And they were on the road trip when that happened. Alex, you could give some sympathy. She kind of figured because of domestic violence. But Jay was a giant douchebag. Jay was only there to cause trouble. He had no involvement with the Terry situation whatsoever. If he did have involvement with the Terry situation, understandable. But he had nothing. He just wanted to be there to be a prick and to lead the charge to destroy Rick no matter what happened. No ifs, ands, or candy nuts about it. No ifs, ands, buts, or candy nuts about it. But yeah, he was just there to cause trouble. And, you know, he had no sympathy towards Spinner and Alex, who wanted to confess the role, thinking that Jay was thinking that they're going to implicate him. I bet you know that Spinner would not have implicated Jay. Maybe Alex would not have implicated Jay. But Spinner implicated Jay because enough was enough, and Jay basically deserved it. My number 2 biggest topic sentence to do with the Rick situation doesn't come from Rick. It comes from Radic. And hear me out. This is going to be big. Radic did not fail Rick. He failed every student. And that's the truth. Yes, Radic did not listen to Rick's cries in Time Stand Still Part 1 and wanted Rick to come back when something serious happened and would not give Rick time to talk about things. We know that. He did fail Rick. That is not debatable. But what's debatable is the fact that he failed the student body. He didn't just fail Rick, he failed the student body. That's what I'm saying. Let's point out the facts. He did not consider the student body's cries for help when Rick came back to school in season 4. The students tried to tell him this is a bad idea, but he brushed it off, saying Terry's not at the school. What am I going to do? He doesn't have a criminal charge. Fair enough, but it's making him bad. And even telling Emma, stay away from this stupid crusade. Are you crazy, Radic? Domestic violence is a crusade we're fighting for. You prick. You're a prick for that, because it made Emma probably want to destroy Rick to spite Radic. Not just the friend group, but to spite Radic. There was a gripe, and that happened with season 2 Fight for Your Right, in which nobody won. The simple fact is that, the students were crying for help, and he didn't help them. Snake tried to get Radic to realize the error of his ways, but Radic didn't do anything. He just practically said, how was I supposed to know someone was going to snap over some spilled paint? And he's got a point, but still, he failed everyone. Snake knew Radic failed. Radic failed the students. Even in the aftermath, he just wanted a sunny musical so that it makes Degrassi look good. I understand that, because now Degrassi's on the 6 o'clock news for the worst possible things. But the simple fact is he didn't help the students out. He was basically turfed. I think the school board wanted him gone. I think Snake had some input. Maybe Liberty and JT, maybe Rick's parents. It was a comedy of errors for Radic. All I'm saying. And the number one topic sentence to do with the Rick situation comes for Rick. And hear me out. Yeah. So Rick should never have retaliated in the first place. He brought a gun to school. No sympathy whatsoever. Hear me out. Why would you give this guy sympathy? You do not give him sympathy. He brought a gun to the school for bad things. He knew what he was doing. He was going to cause fracas. He was going to shoot Paige, but had a change of conscience. And then Spinner and Jay basically pinned things on Jimmy, and then he shot Jimmy. The guy brought a gun to the school. You cannot sympathize with Rick at all. Zero. No way. Rick is a pure evil villain. I think he's the biggest villain in Degrassi history. Peter and Jay can't hold a candle to Rick. That's all I gotta say. And that's that. Sorry, I'm a little angry, but what can you do? Anyway, I'm jumped up and I do.